Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to Stand Your Ground Saturday here on the Lead Laced Anarchy channel for the Ohio Patriot Education Network. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. Uh, this is obviously going to be a new number one that we have on this channel, mostly because of the fact that I have no idea what the last Stand Your Ground Saturday was I actually did, and figured I would just do new number, new year, etc., kind of deal there. Uh, was going to do this on the Second Open channel, but unfortunately found out earlier today that they yanked Freedom Friday yesterday over something that Corey said during the stream, which literally had to do with an actual TV series from a couple years ago. So, yeah. And YouTube wants to call TV shows medical misinformation, apparently. So, I don't know, man. Fucking retarded entirely is what it is. So, I don't know. I know that we had that one thing the other day where NEA was talking about it. I posted a link on there where people were saying about how I guess Google's going to update their TOS piercing is what it is here. So sometime in the next month where they're going to do a bunch of stuff about things. And yeah, I think they're just going to try and suppress like a motherfucker in the coming months. So I don't know, man. I think we're going to see. Honestly, I think 2024 is going to be the year of massive class action lawsuits against big tech at this point. Is what needs to happen, honestly. Because they're censoring freedom of speech at this point, man. They're censoring people's First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, etc., with channel strikes and everything else like that. So, yeah, it's a bunch of BS entirely, dude. And it really directly violates U.S. Constitution, is what it is, man. So, but yeah, for tonight's episode of Stand Your Ground Saturday, we're basically going to talk about a couple things. I was going to talk a little bit about SHOT Show, obviously. I was hoping some people would pop on the panel, actually, because I did throw out some links here a little bit ago, is what it was. So I don't know if anybody's going to show up or not, but I'm going to go ahead and do this for about probably, 45 minutes or so, if even that long. If nobody shows up, it'll be probably about a half-hour show, but if people start showing up, it might be more like an hour or so. But anyway, that being said, yeah, there's a couple topics I want to talk about, obviously, like SHOT Show was one of them, new, 2A related firearms and gear and everything else like that coming later this year. In the next couple weeks is when it'll be here. So I believe it is the 2 weeks from now is SHOT Show, I want to say. Like the 26th, 27th is what it said the other day when I was looking it up there. So yeah, should be pretty cool. Looking forward to seeing what Taurus is coming out with this year, because I know the last couple of years have done a bunch of interesting stuff there. They had I know a few years ago they obviously made the TX22, which then I bought it the year after that's what it was. Or no, sorry. Bought it later on that year when it came out, actually. And unfortunately, it happened to be one of the ones that was in the first, I want to say 20,000 or so, give or take. And it had one of those bad barrels from that third party. So it ended up being something where when I was doing a 1,000 round count on that, actually, here a couple years ago, and ended up starting to shoot it. And then there was a lead fouling basically coming out of the barrel, because I noticed there was like a piece of like weird aluminum shit on my hand is what it was, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? And then shot a couple more times, and then I was realizing the accuracy was like shit at that point. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here, man? I noticed there was more of this stuff coming out is what it was then. It's like, that's fucking weird. And then yeah, sure enough, checked it out and disassembled the gun, popped out the barrel, took a flashlight down the barrel, and noticed that the actual rifling in the barrel was just like basically ripping itself out is what it was there. So, and that was within the first 1,000 rounds. So yeah, not a good thing, man, at all. But Taurus was a good company though, honestly, because when I called them up, because they had just relocated to Georgia a few months before, that's what it was, because they were originally in Florida, I think is what it was there. And the chick in Georgia who had a really, really, really sexy Southern accent, where it was like that, Georgia peach accent, basically, is what I call it. And I was like, yeah, the barrel was messed up or whatever here. And they're like, oh, okay, well, what's your serial number? And I give them a serial number and everything like that. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, you're definitely covered under this thing is what it is. And I was like, okay, so when am I going to expect my new barrels, what it is there? And they're like, oh, yeah, we don't have any in stock right now. So it'll be whenever we get some back in is what it is then. So I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a month or two from then. And literally, it was like the next Monday or Tuesday, because I called up like a Thursday or Friday is what it was. And it was like next Monday or Tuesday, I went out to my mailbox and there was like a package in there from Taurus. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Opened it up and it's my new barrel. So which unfortunately the way that barrel was set up, they redid the tolerances of it, so it was like messed up initially, and had to call them back up after that and be like, hey, why is my gun like, kind of jamming weirdly is what it is. And they were telling me to like press it against a hard surface when I was putting it back together, and then it would pop basically back together properly is what it is, and it did, which is the crazy part. I think I talked about this years ago is what it was when it happened, but on one of the other channels. But yeah, it was just interesting in general, and it has worked since then, obviously, and it's a good gun still. And then of course it was, I think last year's when they made that it was like the compact or whatever it was there, where you have, it's now like a red dot ready thing is what it is there. So because obviously they made the competition, which had that weird plate on the barrel then a couple years ago, and then they made like the actual like new one that has just like, it's like a plate cut in the actual slide then, which is what they should have done to begin with, honestly. And that's like the compact, I think is what they call it, last year or something. And it was like, so being a 16 round mag in it, it was like a 10 round or something in there. So, or 12 round or something. I'm not sure exactly offhand. I think it was 10 because I want to say it was like California compliant and a bunch of other fucking retard states basically that hate the Second Amendment is what it is there. Which, that's my problem entirely with a lot of these gun companies, really is what it is, dude. It's like, stop being compliant with the fucking tyranny of this country, dude. Like any governor, any general assembly in this country that wants to fuck people's gun rights, dude. No, fuck that state entirely, dude. Be like, sorry, bro, move to a different state and get your fucking 2A back, or fight the fucking people in power right now in the courts and get your damn 2A back that way, and then we'll start shipping your fucking states after that's the case then. Because nothing else, I think that alone, like if the firearms industry did something like that and they like took a stand like that is what it is, dude, to where they're like, yeah, we're not going to comply with tyranny anymore, dude. Fuck all your fucking bullshit, like 10 round and under mags and shit like that, dude. You would have so many people get so pissed and become Second Amendment advocates so quickly simply to fight back against this fucking tyrannical bullshit in all these states, dude. You would create a generation of fucking Second Amendment supporters at that point, dude. In one fail swoop. In one scorched earth kind of moment is what it would be then. And I think that's the problem right now, is nobody wants to be the first to do that, is what it is with these gun companies, because they're like, oh, we're just going to lose money then. And it's like, no, you're not, dude. You're going to gain a ton of fucking money, because you would actually be the people that took a stand and were like, no, we're not putting up with this bullshit anymore. We're not going to sell our fucking firearms in your bullshit ass state now is what it is. At all, unless you're going to take them as they fucking stand with a 15 round mag or a 12 round mag or a 16 round mag or an 18 round mag, whatever the hell, comes with naturally, 17 rounds, whatever it is there. Or if it's like an AR, it's like, it comes standard with fucking 30 rounds. Fuck off. It's a semi-automatic. Fuck you. We're not putting your fin grip bullshit on here and nothing like that, dude. Fuck off. So, yeah. And if they all took a stand like that, you'd have like way, way more sales is what it is, man. And it's not like we didn't have a ton of fucking sales last year anyway, because looking at this article I was looking at a minute ago here, we got Americans bought nearly 16 million firearms last year in defiance of Biden's bullshit gun control push. Said the latest statistics for firearm sales is in, and they show that Americans bought nearly 16 million firearms alone in 2023 despite Biden's BS push for gun control. So according to FBI NICS checks, 29,854,186 background checks were logged in 2023. So here's the problem I have with that NICS checks, though, because I think that actually correlates to the shit in California where it also does like ammo purchases and stuff like that. And I know there's a couple other states trying to pull that now is what it is. So I'm not so sure that would all be gun sales in that 29 million. It might be like, 25 million gun sales and then like 4 million ammo checks or something like that is what it is then. But even still, like if it's like 25 million gun sales, like that's still huge what it is there. So anyway, like I said, it all depends if it includes California's BS is what it is there, which I don't know exactly how theirs works because I know they have like their own like internal thing for the state or something. So I'm not sure if that's actually directly to the NICS checks or not. So anyway, so this beats 2022 thing where it was a combined 28,904,713 background checks done. So yeah, almost a million more done this year, this past year alone there. So according to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, Americans purchased an estimated 15.8 million firearms in 2023, with 1,775,834 million purchases in December alone. That's actually kind of sad because it could have been 1776. Like it was almost 1776, bro. Like you were like one off. You were like literally like a couple hundred off from having 1776. That would have been awesome. But anyway, it says NSSF spokesperson Mark Olivia said that 24 states currently allow gun buyers to purchase additional firearms without having to go through another background check, so the actual number of sales is likely higher. Okay, 24 states. I think that means there's 24 states that actually recognize CCWs as a form of background check being done. So, doing actual NICS checks would be then, which would make sense on that one. I think that's what they're saying on that. Anyway, it says latest data now brings a trend of over 1 million firearm purchases per month for 53 months in a row now. Said by the millions for 50 months straight, law-abiding citizens are choosing to their right to keep and bear arms, despite the efforts of gun control politicians to enact laws that chill that right and others that issue unconstitutional edicts that deny the right. Mark Olivia said in the email to the outlet in September, said lawful firearm possession is truly the determining factor of the American character, that we are the people of self-determination and not left to be the victims of those who have no respect for life or law. So here's the problem I have with that whole thing entirely, and I've said this before many, many times on all my channels. Here's what it is we should not have to do background checks at all, dude, because all they are, and this has been proven with me personally, when I had a fucking 2 goddamn Fed boys on my house, 4.5 years ago, back in August of 2019, it's a de facto gun roster. Every single firearm you have purchased through FFL right now is on a fucking roster. If you ever get the fucking FBI knocking on your door, dude, they're going to have a list of shit they're just clicking off is what it is there. That's a good way they did with me, honestly. And it was disturbing as fuck thinking back on it now, and it's still disturbing as fuck knowing these fuckers know pretty much every gun I have is what it is right now. So, and of course they would know obviously what I bought here. I think was last year or so, which would be the actual frame that I got for my ARs. Would it be then? So, but yeah. And then I found this one kind of interesting in the middle of this whole thing, where it was teens demand action on gun control in Nashville, Tennessee. Man, fuck them kids. Fuck those little commie bitches who want to sit there and try to fuck with Americans' constitutional rights when they have been so goddamn indoctrinated by pedophiles their entire fucking lives, dude. Looking to be teachers in the teaching industry is what it is there. So, bunch of shit entirely, man. Yeah, it's an American. Here we go. Right. Yeah, that Mark guy said Americans show that they want their Second Amendment rights by the millions. Once again, these are solid numbers that reflect the mood of Americans and the desire to exercise Second Amendment rights, regardless of the latest data. So data comes despite the Biden-Harris administration using a whole of government approach to limit the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. So Mark was encouraged by the data and expects sales to continue to rise in 2024, and then talked about the figures alone, what it is there and whatnot. So, and I do find it interesting because something else I was going to talk about tonight, which was basically something that popped up in my feed here from Ohio Gunners, what it was the other day, which is apparently Democrats are going for broke again with a bunch of unconstitutional horse shit in the form of 2 companion bills in the U.S. Senate and U.S. Congress, respectively, is what it is there. So the House and the Senate is what it is there, which is, let's see if I can find it here right now. Senate Bill 3407 and House Bill 6596, which is the quote-unquote Gun Violence Prevention and Community Safety Act of 2023. So what would these horseshit bills that are done by Elizabeth Warren and Mr. Guam is going to flip over if too many people are on it, Hank Johnson, going to try to push for? Fucking everything, dude. Literally every gun control these fuckers want is what it is on the table with this trash. It's all unconstitutional. Warren, Johnson, all of them, dude. Anybody that's a primary on this or a co-sponsor on these bills needs to be arrested on the spot right now for being an oath-breaking piece of shit, for directly committing deprivation of the code of law is what it is against every American in this country, and be hauled off to federal prison for the rest of their damn lives is what it is, period, in the story. But yeah, as it says in these bills here, what this crap would actually do, and this is straight from the email that I was sent here is what it is, which said for everything on the table currently is would create a national permit to buy a gun, so basically a national FOID card, establishes a nationwide gun registry, institutes a national red flag gun confiscation law, bans virtually every semi-automatic rifle in America, makes it a felony to buy a, quote, high-capacity magazine, so anything over 10 rounds, taxes guns at 30% and ammo at 50%, puts you in jail for buying more than one gun a month, forces you to lock up your firearms at all times, so safe storage BS is what it is. That can't be... Here's the problem with safe storage laws, too, by the way. They can't be fucking enforced unless you literally have a fucking cop kicking your fucking door in, violating your Fourth Amendment rights of legal search and seizure for them to check to make sure all your shit's locked up at all times, dude. So it's a direct violation of all kinds of fucking constitutional rights, including most of the Bill of Rights, for that matter, what it is, man. You know, that's what we talk about all the time, how the red flags, you know, violate basically 1 through, like it's basically, I think it's 8 of 10 of the Bill of Rights, and then the 14th Amendment too, for that matter. So, anyway, continues on here. It says, criminalizes the sale of firearms to adults under the age of 21, bans the sale of suppressors entirely, and makes it a crime to build a firearm on your own at home. So basically, you know, 3D printing is what it would be then. So, which is also unconstitutional for that matter as well. So, yeah. And that's just the beginning of it, dude. Because there's more shit shoving that 247-page piece of crap is what it is there, man, I'm sure. But this is the thing. This is one of these bills that's been pushed, you know, forth several times is what it is. The only reason I'm bringing it up now, obviously, is because it's starting to gain traction again, and it's starting to get more... It originally was just like Warren and Johnson, and now it's actually getting like more traction in this crap is what it is, where you got like actual co-sponsors and stuff like that now is what it is here. So, where we now have... let's go ahead and see who the retards are in the House that's actually co-sponsoring this garbage. All right, so let's see. Of course, when you look at who's actually on this shit, let's see. 7 from Massachusetts, 2 from California, 2 from New York, 1 from Washington, D.C., 1 from Florida, 1 from Illinois, 1 from Maine, 1 from Maryland, 1 from Pennsylvania, 1 from Texas, who I can only assume is that crackhead Jasmine Crockett, 1 from Virginia, and 1 from Washington State. Actually, that being said, oh no, I'm sorry. Sheila Jackson Lee's not in Congress anymore, so yeah, it would have to be Crockett or somebody else if that would be the case. So, all right, let's see. So we got Delegate Norton, Eleanor Holmes Norton. How the hell does DC even have a delegate in the fucking thing to begin with? That's just stupid as fuck. Let's see. Then we got Congressman Stephen F. Lynch out of Maryland. You got Mike Quincy out of Illinois. We got Seth Moulton out of Massachusetts. We got Barbara Lee out of California. Got Daniel Goldman out of New York. Got David Throne out of Maryland. I actually realize now that I think about it, who the Florida one was. It's probably that fucking douchebag Gen Z piece of shit, Maxwell Frost. Shouldn't be in Congress to begin with because he's a fucking criminal piece of crap in general. He's also a shouldn't have been even allowed in the race to begin with because he couldn't even afford to fucking do his own campaign where he had to literally put the shit on credit cards, dude, for God's sakes. Anyway, continuing on here, it said, we're right now. Yeah, it was let's see, David Tone from Maryland, James McGovern from Massachusetts, Arnino Espatatia from New York. Don't know who the fuck that is. William Kettning from New York. Or no, sorry, not New York. William Ketting from Massachusetts. Jake something or other from Massachusetts. Grace Napolitano from California's 31st District. Lori something from Massachusetts. Oh, no, I guess I was wrong. It wasn't that douchebag Maxwell Frost. It was that fucking idiot Frederica Wilson from Florida. Let's see. Then we got Jennifer McCullen from Virginia. Oh, I guess it was Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas. That's interesting because wasn't she actually out of Congress before all this, dude? Because she was running for mayor and shit of Houston and then lost that handily is what it was. I didn't think she got back into office here. So, because she did that on the 6th of December there. Same day, Ariana Presley joined the fucking mix. We got Adam Smith from Washington State, Dwight Evans from Pennsylvania, and Shiel Penji from Maine. Yeah, just a bunch of fucking scumbags, dude, for real. So that's the ones that are on the House side. On the U.S. Senate side, we got, obviously, Elizabeth Warren being the primary sponsor of that piece of shit. And then she is joined by crackhead Cory Booker, who shouldn't even be in office anymore. Good old pedophile himself, Ed Mackey. And, of course, Mazi fucking Harino, who is a known piece of shit, cocksucker, lover of Antifa and BLM terrorism, dude. Who didn't even have the fucking balls to stand there and actually listen and watch the fucking video footage of Antifa burning this country down back in 2020 because she's such a piece of shit is what it is, dude. And said she wanted to take a piss during that whole thing. I swear to God, dude, like, we just need to kick these fucking people out of this country entirely, dude. Like, not even just out of office, out of this fucking nation entirely is what it is, man. Like, first off, Elizabeth Warren and Cory Booker shouldn't be in office anymore at this point in U.S. Senate right now, dude, because they both should have been kicked the fuck out when they tried to run for president back in 2020. Same thing with dipshit Hank Johnson. His dumbass should have been thrown the fuck out of Congress when he was talking in that stupid-ass congressional hearing about, oh, if there's too many people on the island of Guam, it could flip over. Like, what the fuck? The fuck are you talking about, you fucking retard? Like, you can't tell me voter fraud isn't real with that asshole, dude, because he's literally in the fucking main area of Atlanta, Georgia there for his congressional district. Like, there is so much fuckery going on there. It's not even funny, man. So, but yeah, it's still small numbers right now, thank God, but who the fuck knows what's going to happen very soon is what it'll be, man. So, anyway. And then something else I do want to bring up, too, because this actually will probably is actually a bigger deal than that whole thing, which is the BS going on with the U.S. Senate right now for these scumbags trying to give her illegal fucking voting rights in this country and everything else for that matter and legal citizenship. It's Schumer and Langford border deal, which would increase green cards to 50,000 people per year. Should be 0, by the way. Work permits for adult children of HP1 visa holders. Yeah, fuck that shit, motherfucker. Immediate work permits for every illegal alien released from custody. Again, go fuck yourself, you fucking pedophile piece of shit, Demon Schumer and piece of crap Langford. Let's see. Taxpayer-funded lawyers for certain UACs and mentally incompetent aliens, the people that are literally fucking retarded, mentally ill, illegal aliens in this country, or you can just kick them the fuck out of our country and build a goddamn wall, you fucking scumbag traitors. And then restricts parole for those who enter without authorization between ports of entry. What a fucking joke, dude. And as the NWokeness next account said here, it said, if this immigration bill passes, it will go down as the greatest GOP betrayal in U.S. history. McConnell is urging Republicans to vote for this crap now because it won't pass under a second Trump term. Yeah, Mitch McConnell needs to have his ass thrown out of office too over this crap, dude, because he's a fucking traitor to this nation. The guy's a literally Chi-Com fuckboy. He's fucking some bitch who is has direct ties to the Chinese fucking government is what it is, man. So, of course, he's all for it to pass because he keep bringing in fucking illegals and creating goddamn sleeper cells in this fucking country right now, dude. Seriously. There's that video the other day that I was talking about where it's literally this fucking Chinese foreign national guy that was released under Biden's administration. Here's what it is. Who has ARs in the, he has an AR in one hand and an AK in the other hand, and then another AR behind him is what it is there. Has no money, is completely destitute being in this country, yet somehow is able to afford like several $1,000s worth of actual rifles. And it really does make you wonder, dude, like, where the fuck are these sleeper cells coming from? Where are they getting this money from to get this shit, or are they just being handed these fucking guns, whatever it is, them for, you know, to do some shit in the future? Here's what it is. So, it wouldn't surprise me at all, man. Anyway, going to some of the sidebar comments there. You got this Warren person saying, if this bill passes, it will allow 5,000 illegals to enter every day, and some will do something like this. Now, at 749 preventable deaths, I can't do this alone. Need your help to inform people of preventable deaths caused by illegal aliens in this country, which is this story right here. It said 571. Death of 19-year-old Ariana Exim in 2020 could have been prevented. A DUI illegal allegedly hit her car. The impact caused her to be ejected from her car, and she died at the scene, despite the fact that he crossed our border illegally. The illegal alien will not be deported. He's one of the many immigrants being granted a reprieve from sympatry Mayorkas's changed rules. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. And people wonder why down in Eagle Pass, Texas, in the last 3 or 4 days now, why you've had literal Texas National Guard kicking the fucking Fed boys out of there, and they're now having riot shields that are pushing back fucking illegals at the border pass there with this dude. Which, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, man. If we did it the correct way, who buddy would be used? They'd be using something else, and it starts with the G and ends with a UN at that point. So, and it would be riot GUNs. So, not riot shields. Anyway, well, actually, they might be using both, actually, for that matter. But yeah, the entire point is it's a bunch of shit, dude, man. And it is such a way to fuck over our country, is what it is, man. So. Actually, this meme is pretty much spot on for Biden's ass right here, man, which is, if you won't vote Democrat, I'll flood the country with people who will. Yeah, pretty much. That's what they're going to do, man. Hell, I know Matt was talking about the other day about how it was, what we call it now? He was mentioning how there's now, I forget what state it was in, it was California or New York, one of the ones like that, where they were talking about just giving these motherfucking illegals just a federal ballot now. Because obviously, I believe it's both California and New York give them driver's licenses. So, you know, why wouldn't they give them fucking federal ballots too to fill out illegally is what it is and commit vast voter fraud in this country. So, this is actually about right. Actually, I would say this is most politicians, honestly, how it determines their vote, which is basically them hitting a bunch of cash. So, yeah. Yes, guys, I'm McConnell certified rhino. Voting in favor of this bill is voting for the continued destruction of this country. We need to get him out of office. Like I said, we need auto DQs in this country, dude, is what it is. And if you're pulling shit like this, where you're trying to vote this through in an election year, etc., dude, or any year for that matter, you need to be fucking tossed out on high treason charges, is what it is right now, dude. And be charged with high treason after the fact, is what it is then. So. Because I'll tell you right now, man, if we were in any other time period of history right now, the shit at the border right now would be called what it is, a fucking foreign invasion. When you have people literally coming up to our border, not waving the American flag, mind you, because if they actually gave a shit about this country, they'd be waving the American flag and asking for acceptance into our nation is what it is. No, they're sitting there waving the flags of their home countries, whether it be Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and that's just the Central American nations, by the way. They could also be waving some African flag, like the flag of Burkina Faso, or the flag of fucking, you know, the Ivory Coast, or something like that's what it is, man. Or any other part of Africa, for that matter. Or it could be the country of Chile, for that matter. Or it could be like Portugal, or something that they're waving the flag of. Or it could be fucking China's flag, for God's sakes, being waved. But it's never America. It's never the U.S. flag, dude. Because that's the whole point. They're not fucking people that want to come here and assimilate to our nation. They're people that want to come here and fuck over our country by literally being told, as I was told years ago, literally, hand to God, I was told years ago by my cousin's ex-girlfriend, because her family's from Nicaragua, and she talks about how much of a social shithole it was down there, man. And that's why a bunch of her family, her cousins and aunts and uncles, mom, dad, etc., wanted to immigrate here is what it was. And she was saying basically, unless you cucked for the government there and you accept socialism and communism, stuff like that down there, you don't get a job. And yet, meanwhile, where they were at down there, they were basically the middle class of their country is what it is, because they have the ability to have, you know, running water and running plumbing and TV running, everything else like that. And the TVs that they had down there, they would turn on the TV and you would have fucking commercials by Soros, NGOs, etc. there, telling these people straight up, be like, come to America and you'll get free everything from housing to vehicles to, you know, free food, all this stuff like that. It's like, yeah, just come live the American dream in America that most Americans can't even fucking live because you pieces of shit are fucking stealing our goddamn shit from our fucking hands is what it is, dude. And then they come here illegally And now they're being housed in fucking, some random ass hotel or some fucking random ass gym in New York City now is what it is, in some high school that was fucking actually occupied by kids there that are American citizens. They're now being kicked out from remote learning and shit, dude. Like, that's what the fucking joke is entirely. And there was some woman recently, actually, that said it correctly. It was this black chick who was talking about the thing there in Massachusetts, where you had the fucking dumbass governor telling people, like, oh, if you have a spare room or some spare space, consider housing illegal in your fucking area there, in your home. And this bitch is like, dude, go fuck yourself, in so many words. And she's right about that. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, why would I want to do that shit? That's funny. People were talking about this cat going to a shop to, quote, buy fish. And so you can just want to hand out what it really is, honestly. Yeah, I kind of agree with what this guy said here, actually, in the comments of this whole thing, which is GOP's idea of a Ukraine/border deal is to increase the amount of people we let in exchange for giving billions more dollars to Ukraine aid. Question mark. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what it is, dude, at the end of the day. And the problem, like this Appalachia podcast guy said, Kentucky has to do better than McConnell, what it is there, man. So the issue is not that they have to do better than McConnell. It's we need to audit every election right now, dude. And we shouldn't, honestly, truthfully, I'm going to say it like this right now. We shouldn't even have an election this year at all. What we should be doing right now is anybody currently in power federally that's been elected in the last 4 to 5 years or so, give or take, should immediately have no power at all in this country for at least a month. I would say 30 fucking days. At least 30 days. In that 30 days, we go back and we audit every single election from 2016 to now. And if there's any voter fraud that's found, if there's any fucking, vote buying, if there's any fucking ballot harvesting, any of that shit going on anywhere, anybody that did that stuff is immediately thrown the fuck out of office entirely. They are arrested on the spot for fucking high treason and a bunch of other fucking felony charges and misdemeanors, etc. there. And that is how we fucking clean house in this country, dude. Will it happen? No. That's the fucking problem. If it did, that would actually work. They would never allow it to happen, dude, because most people actually on the fucking Epstein list is what it is there. So, anyway. Yeah, then you got piece of shit Langford. It says, this guy said, liar. Many like him need to be voted out ASAP. Oklahoma deserves better than piece of shit James Langford. This was on January 10th. Said border security is not a partisan issue. It's a national security issue. Then fund the fucking wall, you fucking traitor. In fact, I'm going to go say it to his ass. Wait, actually, is Langford a fucking... I can't remember if Langford's actually... I think he might be a GOP. I have to go check that just to make sure on that one. Yes, okay, he is a rhino sack of shit then. So I'm going to make sure on that one. Yeah. Such a bunch of shit, dude, entirely. I'm so fucking sick of these people, dude. That was the cat I was talking about, by the way, that caught a fish every day. I went to buy fish. Although he does have the doughy eyes, so we'll let it pass. We'll let it slide. That's the thing, man. If truthfully, if I was owning a shop or whatever the case be, and this cat just walks in every day, I'm just like, hey, buddy, you're not my cat. Is what it is. You'll just sit in the corner, guard the shop, live in the shop then. Here's a fish. So, anyway. Yeah, priorities. Help illegal immigrants. Yeah, sounds about right, honestly. Like there's 50 guys trying to drop down to fucking help her ass. So, although to be fair, I forget what the original meme of this is actually, and it's basically some chick like ask for help, and then it's like help hot girl or something like that, and then they're all like as soon as it's like hot chick or whatever, then they're like all like trying to go down there to get with her is what it is. Then sounds about right though, honestly. Let's see. This person that goes by Teacher Mom says, I have no faith in Republicans anymore. Too many are corrupt. The problem isn't Republicans. The problem isn't Democrats. The problem is the two-party system entirely in this country. And the real problem is having lifetime politicians at all. Having really anybody over a term or two in office should be null and void at this point in history, honestly, dude. And that means you're going to have new people like myself come up out of nowhere and run for, U.S. Senate one day or whatever the case be, and we haven't run for office before. That's what it is then, and we actually win office then. Cool, that's our term then. Same thing with the governorship, same thing with everything else like that, dude. And we have so much better country, honestly, because you'd actually have the ability to have way more people in power then over, a 20, 30-year time span, and there'd be way less ability for them to walk in corrupt is what it is then. So... especially if we got money out of politics, it would be then. Where you'd have like money caps and everything, it would be there. Or if you violate the money cap, like guess what? You're just out of the race entirely, then fuck you. So, yeah, as this person said, imagine compromising your own national identity. Literally, the only function a government should have is protecting exactly this. Well, it's not even their national identity, dude. It's like, okay, the thing I don't get about any of these people in office right now, dude, is like, they act like they're immune from danger. Like they're like somehow there's a bubble around them where they cannot be hurt is what it is, man. It's like eventually you're gonna let enough people into this country, dude, that they're just gonna take your ass out is what it's gonna be there. Like whether it be the McConnells or the Langfords or whatever the world right now, dude. It's like, you let enough of these people, dude, like they're just gonna come for you at some point, Like, yeah, they might come for me or whoever at some point before that, man, but like they're eventually gonna get to you next, motherfucker. So it's like, yeah, like that's the problem right now, dude. And it's like you're literally compromising the safety and security of this country. That, by the way, is textbook high treason by doing that shit. Because you're literally trying to destroy the sovereignty of this fucking nation by just allowing the fucking streaming flow of illegals coming in this country every single day right now. It just blows my mind, honestly. It really does. Anyway. Yeah, I gotta disagree with what this guy just said here, dude. So if this passes, no one should ever vote for someone with GOP beside their name. Party should be abandoned. Real conservative politicians will have to switch to the alliance from GOP to some new party because no one will vote for this. Okay. You can see the same thing about Democrats on that one, buddy. Seriously. Yeah, because truthfully, that's what it should be, honestly. It should be like anywhere from like a few dozen to a few hundred parties what it is then. Being in power right now, not just fucking two of them, man. Yeah. Amnesty agenda was made possible by him. I mean, Trump actually did this shit. Fuck you, man. Correct. When it started, an idea foreigners imported to ethnically replace the host population. Yep. That's exactly the truth right there, man. Yeah, like I said, when you actually look at the definition of high treason in this country, dude, it's actually destroying the sovereignty of the nation, which is what these assholes are trying to do right now. So, how the fuck is McConnell? How the fuck is Chuck Schumer, how the fuck is Langford, etc., not being arrested for high treason right now? It just blows my mind, honestly, dude. Yeah, because even just looking up high treason right now, like, it obviously changed the thing a little bit. Here's what it is, but as it says here, it said, crime of making war against the government of your country or attempting to help an enemy take control of your country, which is what the fucking party's doing right now, dude, entirely. So, and then we talk about 3 types of high treason there. Yeah, levying war against the United States, adhering to the enemies of America, giving aid and comfort to the enemies of the United States. Right there. Right fucking there, dude. Giving aid and comfort to the enemies of our country. Which is what you fuckers are doing right now, because you're telling them to come in here and literally give them fucking shelter and food and medicine and everything else for that matter. Like, that's literally giving comfort and aid to the enemies of America, dude. Like, goddamn, people. It's hard not to get pissed every single day of my life, honestly, right now, dude. Because of this shit. So, trying to see if any of the guys are saying anything here or not, if they're going to potentially hop in, perhaps. I don't think they are, though. So, oh, I will say one thing, though. Apparently, Honda gave me my own channel on his Discord now, called Ohio News Network. So, because apparently he got sick of me just posting a bunch of shit in his Gay Frog Discord is what it is there. So he's like, you know what, I'm just going to give you your own channel here. Here you go. Post all your shit here is what it is now. So I did last night. So, but yeah, that was funny. So, anyway. Okay, so I'm going to disagree with some of what this dude said here in the reply, because I'm going to add on to is what it is. Like, I'm not saying he's not wrong about what he's saying here. I'm going to add to those what it is here, honestly. So this guy right here, this Paul dude, said the only immigration bill that should be passed is one that says if you aren't at a port of entry, you'll be sent back without discussion. Everything else is betrayal. So the problem with that is, though, right, is I would say if they show up to a fucking port of entry, like, fuck them. You know? Be like, sorry, motherfucker, America's full up. Go eat shit. Go back to your fucking country of origin is what it is, dude. Like, here's the problem entirely right now, right? Is if you are seeking asylum, legitimately, if you're seeking asylum from your home nation, and your home nation is not Mexico, once you get to Mexico, which is the first safe state, potentially, first safe nation you can go to there, guess what, motherfucker? You remain in Mexico. Or if your first safe nation that you come upon is like, I don't know, Nicaragua is considered a safe nation then, or whatever the case be, guess what? Sorry, you're not going past Nicaragua, asshole. Or anything else for that matter. You know? Hell, if Venezuela is the first safe nation you can get to, fuck you, you're staying in Venezuela, bitch. Simple as that. You're not fucking bypassing like 18 other fucking countries to come to America, you fucking scumbags. So, yeah, and actually what this other person just said is exactly what I said a minute ago about high treason there, man. This Earl Miller guy said, Bill, people pushing for it and people voting for it should be guilty of high treason and treated as such. That choice is perfectly, undeniably, and irrefutably clear. No judge, jury, straight to sentencing. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, this person here said, U.S. citizens, please do something about this. Politicians are under your control. Not the other way around. Get your country back, and for the love of God, make sure the stuff isn't passed. Also, very curious on the one among the voting Americans is this issue. Let's see. This issue creating any sort of division Like, are the people, not politicians, who think this is a good idea? Anyone on the left, right, or center? Is this what you voted for? Hell no, dude. And that's the problem. And like I said before, honestly, like, if we had the ability in this country where, like, I as a voter in Ohio right now could have, like, the ability to, like, recall somebody in, like, I don't know, Kentucky or Tennessee or something like that, dude, like, I fucking would. And, or if nothing else, like, what it really should be is, and I'm going to say it like this right now, dude, there should be an ability where you can actually challenge by combat any politician currently sitting in office. It doesn't matter what state you're from. And if they refuse to accept your challenge, I'm not the toss fuck out of office when it is them, man. Because I guarantee you that would actually work out a lot. And you would actually have people be like, holy shit, this person actually fought their way into a fucking position of power. In many cases. So. But anyway. Yeah, it's hard to say, man. Also, apparently, I guess this is making. I'm not going to show this whole video here because it's like 5 minutes or whatever. I don't know if it would give me a strike or not, but I guess I'm just going to show the frame here and discuss the actual video itself. Is what it is here. I guess comedian Cat Williams, who's been on a whole tirade recently about some stuff, had a illegal alien waving a Mexican flag in the front row of his stand-up the other day. And he basically confronted the guy and was like, get the fuck out of here, douchebag, within like 5 minutes, basically, is what it was there. So, yeah, pretty wild shit, man. Pretty wild shit for sure. So. This is pretty interesting. Not surprising, though, honestly. So, we're going to talk about this momentarily here. And I'm sure that this guy's life is not in danger at all. I say that as people that are definitely going to be billionaires are going to try to kill this kid for making this machine is what it is. So you got this machine right here that apparently makes water out of nothing. It says, everyday man creates low-cost machine that produces pure drinking water out of thin air and reveals it at CES. How is it possible when billionaires like Bill Gates and globalists have unlimited money and still pretend that they can't create something like this and profit unimaginable amounts of money selling third world countries their water purification treatments? Said, quote, this large behemoth that I saw at CES this year creates water from air. How is it possible? Well, it makes sense, actually, if you actually know, like, physics and you know, science and shit like that. There is actual water vapor in our air at all times is what it is, man. It's just a small amount. And eventually, yeah, you could legitimately have air filter through something and it creates drinking water out of that air. So it's not that hard to figure out, honestly. It just, like I said, you basically just need to have the genius intellect is what it really is, honestly, on that one, of how to make it a possible thing for the machine to actually function properly is what it is there. So, which it seems like this guy actually did that whole thing. So anyway, yeah, so this is a great question. So right now we're making water from air here in the booth, and soon we'll have water pitchers out. You'll be able to taste pure drinking water. And so what we do is we take the, here you go, humidity out of the water, pump air into the machine. It gathers water that's in the air. This has 50 gallons of tanks underneath it. So we fill up the tanks, and then we start filling up everything from that. What we do is a lot with the we do a lot with the government, but this is the very first day it's been open to the consumer market. So you're catching it early on, is what the guy that created this said. So the unit designed to go next to a house and generate all the water you need for a house. It can replace a well. It can replace city water. And if you make bigger units, they can even do more. If you can imagine 2 55-gallon drums sitting here, you can refill these every single day. Every single day, if you go to the geniussystems.com, look into our website, there's information here. It's now about $20,000 for this. Wow. Yeah, that's insane, dude. Like, there's no way you can't make fucking money off of that. Because I'm guessing, honestly, like, if they're selling that for 20 grand, they're probably making it for like 2, honestly, at that point, dude. So potentially you're making like an $80,000 profit, more or less, I guess. Maybe not quite that much, but I'm guessing anywhere from like, I'm guessing this whole thing probably costs like $2 to $5 grand to make, honestly, if I'm being serious with myself. So yeah, there's no way they're not making like 4 or 5 times profit what it would cost to make the damn things, or more for that matter. So yeah, that's some pretty wild shit, man. Does make you wonder though. Yeah, somebody says it's called dehumidifier. Been around since the early 1960s. Smaller scale, you can make 3 gallons every 10 hours. Somebody said dehumidifier with a filter. Basically, dehumidifier with a water filter. Yeah, kind of. Moses West invention that makes water out of thin air. Texas made invention provides clean air, water out of thin air. Okay. Yeah, of course, this asshole tries to make it about fucking race. Being like, oh, this is some other guy that did this in 2019, but because there was a black dude, nobody gave a shit. Fuck you, man. Such fucking ridiculous, dude. Yeah, then we got Bill Gates. Quote, I drink water made from human feces. Of course, he fucking drinks the shit water, dude. He's a fucking demon. So, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's pretty cool, though. So, yeah, like people were saying, then probably like dehumidifier with a filter in it, basically, is what it would be then. So, I mean, it could be, honestly. Who knows? I mean, even still, like, that's a huge game changer, especially overseas and shit, dude. If you could actually do that correctly to, you know, like depending on how it can be made, obviously, because if you're using like, because I'm thinking like like it would be used with like electricity or somehow some ways would it be there, but like let's go ahead and say it is overseas, like in some desert area, wherever the case be, right? So if you could take that into like the African countries where these people are like totally fucking destitute and like some village or whatever the case be, and you have like it's like that sitting there with like I don't know a solar panel or something on it, they could have no need for wells over there anymore, dude. And you could literally just have them buy a bunch of you could have missionaries and stuff like that buy a bunch of these, take them over there for them, set them up, and yeah, like a day or two later they're having fresh drinking water is what it is then, instead of having to pay for a bunch of equipment to go dig them out of big ass wells, what it is then. Which is pretty much what my cousins do, actually. There's an African missionary. He and his family have done that for years now, is what it is. Where every so often they'll come back here and go to the churches and get more money and then be like, okay, we're going to go over here, here, and here into these villages, and we're going to, you know, dig a well over here, dig a well over here, dig a well over there. Because if they didn't dig those wells for the people, they would be drinking basically dirty-ass puddle water. And it's why they have distended stomachs and stuff like that is what it is there. Why the kids growing up there have that stuff, and then you have to have some literal fucking voodoo shaman in the village like pray over this kid's fucking health and shit. Whereas like 2 days later when the well's built and they give him a fresh glass of drinking water, he drinks it. He's fine within like a day or two. So yeah, it's like, yeah, just stop having this kid drink your disgusting puddle water and start drinking pure water from the fucking, you know, wells and shit, buddy. And he's fine. So it's just sad though. That people just don't seem to care is what it is, man. But anyway. Yeah, this person has it right. So you'll never find justice in a world where criminals make all the rules. Yep. Sounds about right. I actually like this meme somebody did with Ralph Wiggum. Here's what it is. Which is the TV told me that if I use CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, digital IDs in 15-minute cities, the weather will be gooder. Yeah, sounds about right. You know, I'm kind of wondering if that's why Google's going to update their policy pretty soon, is the 15-minute city thing is what it is, or like introduction to possibly CDBCs and stuff like that, and digital IDs and shit, like mandatory stuff or whatever. That would make sense, honestly. So I'm just questioning that right now, if that would be the case, honestly. If that's why they would be updating their TOS here in the next month or so, is what it is then. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting to note, though. But yeah, it does make me wonder. It does make me wonder, though, what's going on here is what it is, man. But like I said, who knows? Could be anything. What the fuck is that? Oh, wow. So apparently, I guess this chick is a honeybee. What do you call it? Like beekeeper or whatever. And she was called out to somebody's house here, it looks like, or they're outbuilding, whatever it is here. I'm not sure exactly which it is there. Started taking off the panel stuff here. And there was literally a fucking honeybee nest behind the damn thing. That's a huge fucking nest, dude. Jesus. Huh. Found your queen almost immediately, apparently. Huh. Put the queen in the hair clip, looks like. That's interesting. Huh. Queen's been very busy lately. Hive has been packed full of baby bees. White larvae could eventually turn into baby bees. Huh, that's cool. Each piece of honeycomb. That's cool. She's setting this back in a different hive comb then. Yeah, that's the thing that you really want right there, man, is that pure honey right there. I don't know if I've eaten the fucking comb though itself, though. It's kind of nasty, honestly. Like, well, the thing about it too is, like, who's to say you're not going to get like a bunch of bees in your fucking mouth too with that? Because there might be still, swimming around the comb and shit. That's why I wouldn't do that immediately. Is what it is. I'd chop off a piece or put in like a little thing and eat it in the car or something later. Is what it'll be then. So, yep, smoking all the bees out there. I actually wonder how much it would cost me to get into beekeeping here in Ohio. It might be something to work into, honestly. The problem is, though, with that is I know it's like really hard to function the hives and keep them alive and stuff like that is what it is there. So, especially in wintertime like we're having right now is what it is here. So, like, that's my whole thing. Like, I know it's like I know to begin with it's like anywhere from like several hundred to a few thousand to get into that, honestly, from the top down. And then it's basically I don't want to sit there and put in like $2,000 or $3,000 into a beehive on my property, only to then turn around and have the motherfucker be, legitimately them dying like a week or two later is what it'll be then. So, yeah. Speaking of, since we're on the Stand Your Ground Saturday, here's what it is. We got literal fucking terrorists calling themselves protesters, literally fucking pro-Palestine terrorists, outside the White House, breaching fences and gates and stuff like that. But yet, I'm sure they'll not get the fucking 20-something years that other people got for January 6th bullshit. Even though they're actual fucking terrorists, dude. So, and just absolute fucking scumbags entirely. Oh. I'm not going to show this, but it is pretty funny. You guys can look at my repost on our X account there. It's some chick fucking around with a Nerf gun and then looks like she's trying to shoot it at the camera or something, or at somebody behind the camera maybe, and it like deflects and smacks her back in the face then. So it's kind of funny actually. But what is this shit? Neon girl, San Francisco spit in the I don't know who these fucking retards are. I don't really give a fuck either. So looks like it's a bunch of fucking ass clowns that shouldn't have fucking fame in this country is what it looks like. And only do because some of the chicks they hang out with have a bunch of big ass titties is what it is then, man. So I'll tell you who this chick reminds me of that we're gonna talk about here in a sec. Actually, which I first saw this girl here sometime last year is what it was, and she was talking about basically being a lesbian or a bull, you know what, and about having like the short hair and stuff like a dude is what it was. And then she's basically going off on the whole people about like, yeah, you're not, whatever here, you're just gay or whatever then. And she kind of reminds me of that pickle chick from Swamp People, but like, I guess more gay would be the best thing on that one. Yeah, that being said, I've met some cool chicks like this that are like gay chicks or whatever, dude, and it's like that's fine. That's what you're going to be. That's what you want to be, man. So it's whatever. That being said, when the grid does go down eventually, like nobody's going to be gay after that, man. Nobody. And I mean that seriously. Like if you think you're going to be having like same-sex relationships after the fucking fall, dude, and not be reprocreating this country, you're fucking kidding yourself. Like I don't care if you're some gay chick or not, dude. You're going to be taking dick eventually. And if you're some gay dude, you're going to be, fucking some pussy eventually for, repurposing, or say repopulating the earth kind of issues here is what it is there. So, anyway, but, Jesus. Yeah, this is actually another disgusting thing I heard about today, actually. So going back to Maine for a minute here. Got fucking 2 years worth of new apartments being built now to house illegal aliens is what it is, dude. Or they're going to give them 2 years of fucking free rent on the taxpayer's expense in Maine. Dude, I'll tell you what, if I lived in Maine right now, fucking Janet Mills and every other goddamn Democrat in the state would be getting their asses recalled right now. And kick the fuck out of office and straight into Maine prison. Because fuck these people, man. What the? Why would you? The fuck, bitch? That's fucked up, man. I'm not even gonna show this. Like this woman's literally like, look, she has like a pet rabbit there, and then she like is like, oh, here's the rabbit after I dispatched it, and I'm like, dude, come on, like that's fucked up. Like that is literally you going to a pet shop and buying a damn rabbit, lady. Like if you're gonna do some stuff like that, at least raise them wild for God's sakes. But anyway, Actually, since we are in a Stand Your Ground Saturday episode, got Weapons Daily saying, what are these? Wrong answers only. I'm not actually sure what kind of shell that would be for. Like it's obviously a cartridge of some kind. It almost looks like basically like them just like digitally enhancing like 5.56 rounds or something to make them look like 10 times bigger than they actually are is what it is then. So or like maybe like a 308 or something maybe. Yeah, those definitely look way bigger than they should be, honestly. I can't think of a gun or that wouldn't be 50 cal, would it be? Maybe it is actually, now I'm thinking about it. It might be a 50 cal actually. I'm not sure. I'm like trying to figure that out now. Oh, it might be 50 BMG. Because looking at Wikipedia here, and them showing the let me go ahead and grab Wikipedia here real quick. Showing the difference here. Because you got that big ass one that's 50 BMG, and then it's other smaller calibers all the way to a 22 there. And I think that second one's a 5.56. So yeah, that is pretty huge comparing to all these other ones, obviously. So yeah, I can see that being a 50 BMG then. That's probably what it is actually. So yeah, makes sense honestly. Let's see here. Actually, this one, and I've said it many times before, dude. Like, we need to have literal fucking firing squads as death penalty sentencing in this country across the board right now. And this is one of the stories that needs to happen with that whole thing. Say her name, Iris Rita Afida, who is a little baby right there. 1 year old. Her killer, this piece of shit bitch right next to her in the fucking jumpsuit, who is Alicia Owens. So Alicia force fed the baby screws, batteries, and nail polish remover to try to kill her and succeeded. Bring back public executions. Yep, exactly, dude. So fucking disgusting. I first heard about the story the other day. It's out of Pennsylvania. Yeah, this sick fucking cunt right here had her boyfriend's daughter here, this sweet little baby right here, a year old, and was like, oh, I don't like this baby. Let me take care of this fucking child so I can be with this man alone now. Like, dude, this is why we need frontier justice to come back in a huge way in 2024 here. I mean that shit seriously. Where people just hunt these motherfuckers down and be done with it. You know, it's like that movie, The Hateful Eight, where they're talking about the hangman guy in there, or the guy that's supposed to be the hangman in that movie, where he's talking like talking to Daisy and whoever else is at the table at the time, and he was like, yeah, if all the people that you killed, walked in here and kicked this door in and then hung your ass from the fucking rafter at that point, like, that would be frontier justice. And yeah, like, that's pretty much what's happening right now in this country, honestly, dude. Like, fucking just bring that shit back and we would have a way better nation right now if that were the case. So Jesus. You got some fucking dude faking to be a woman talking about, oh, they called me sir, so I left without paying the check. Well, I hope you enjoy prison because your ass is about to be arrested for fucking dining and dashing, bitch. So, anyway. But, trying to start something. Oh, yeah, of course, fucking dude's trying to start some shit with some dude. Fucking ridiculous, dude. All right, what do we got here now? Okay, so speaking of sweet little babies, I think we'll have to leave off tonight with this one because this is actually just a heartwarming thing that gets me back to other things. Here's what it is then. So not being super pissed anymore. Well, I'm still pissed, obviously, for the other story, but yeah. So won't have a dry eye after watching this 101-year-old veteran, be the old man right here is what it is, break down in utter tears of joy as he meets his great-great-granddaughter for the very first time. Young men, do not listen to our rotten culture of modernity. This is the only worth that matters. So yeah, you got mom over here holding their little baby. Looks like probably dad's the one taking off grandpa's thing. So I'm guessing that would be the grandson, and this would be his This would be his daughter. So that'd be the dude's great-great-granddaughter. Or so yeah. So yeah, that would be his great-grandson. So it'd be his great-great-granddaughter then. Okay. So yeah, we should just what you calling the baby to the right. Look over here. Aw. Yeah, it's sweet. And letting Grampy hold him. Man, that baby is teeny. Yeah, you can see the tears in his eyes there. Yeah, it's a teeny little baby right there. So I don't understand the left in this country, dude, that thinks that you can have a up to moment of birth abortions when you see stuff like that and how sweet and innocent these little ones are, man. So That's funny. Somebody is talking about some fucking training people. Here's what it is. And actually, I kind of want to see the comments, see if anybody actually says who this is. So, and it has become meme factory. Meme not interested anymore. Right click, since it's the wrong person. It's funny how nobody knows if this is actually a dude or a chick. But it's funny though because there are some people who 100% know. They fucking know. So I was actually trying to see if anybody said a name here or not. It doesn't look like anybody did. So yep, still not seeing names here. Just seeing people be like, man, it's probably a man. But yeah. I mean, to be fair, like honestly though, like truthfully, if I'm randomly walking around, right, or anybody for that matter, like any dudes out there, and you saw somebody looking like this, right? Like you're honestly gonna sit there and tell me that you don't think that that's possibly a biological chick for at least a couple minutes anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. Obviously, there are people that know different, because obviously it is a biological male claiming to be a trans woman. Now is what it is. But it's unfortunate that people don't want to look into these people. So, but yeah, there's a lot of these. If you actually go to Reddit, by the way, you can find out very easily who that person is. So, by just simply typing in Reddit or going into Reddit and typing in like trans or whatever the case be, I'm pretty sure that particular individual, like their account is one of the first things that pops up, and a lot of that shit is what it is there. So, because I've actually been on Reddit and looked into some stuff relating to like trans stuff for some of the stories I was talking about before. And yeah, I've noticed this particular individual popping up pretty often. There is what it is. So, like I said, not my place to name names, but I do know who that is what it is, man. So, somebody said fists like bowling balls and pins to match. That's funny. Uh, hmm. Trying to see if somebody actually. That's messed up. Yeah, some people are saying ladyboy, et cetera, on this. So, uh, again, like, and as I've said before, dude, like, there's different levels of transitioning, and like people like that right there are 100%, trying to do enough to at least appear outward focusing as the opposite sex is what it is there. So, yeah, it's hard to say if it's if people pass or not, really is what it is. And I think in some cases they do, honestly. Like, it all depends, you know what I'm saying? But it really is just a matter of What am I trying to say here now? Yeah, like that the real issue becomes, and we've talked about this before, honestly, with like the whole like Blair White thing, where you have a bartender shamed for not paying for random woman's tab because he's a fucking male bartender. What the fuck, bitch? You were the one that fucking ordered all the drinks. It's your goddamn job to pay the fucking bill, you dumb cunt. Fucking the fucking entitlement of some people in this country, or any fucking first world nation on this earth right now, is so fucking infuriating, dude. It's not even funny anymore. Like I fucking had it with some of these people, man. I really have, honestly. Like just across the board right now. But anyway, but yeah, like I said, though, going back to the whole trans thing for a minute, there is you'll have people that will do a lot of stuff to appear the opposite gender, opposite sex, whatever you want to say. There's what it is. And then there'll be people that will sit there and be like, "Oh no, I'm a man now." Yet meanwhile, beard as big as mine is what it is then. Or no, so they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a chick now," and they have a beard as big as mine is what it is. They're going to fucking women's bathroom or whatever the case be. And again, I think Blair White was the one that talked about it here recently, was how it's basically you have this, it's a mix of like people that actually want to pass and want to be the opposite gender as much as possible. And then you have all these fakers, is what it is, out there that just want the fucking, the freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to do and be a bunch of creeps and shit. And they're not wrong, honestly. And that's the problem right now. And again, it goes back to that kind of slippery slope mentality in our nation, is what it is, man. It's like, people talked about, 20, 25 years ago, give or take, where they were like, oh yeah, you let gay marriage become a thing. And next thing you know, we're having, people try to advocate for fucking pedophiles to have rights and shit in this country. And shocker, that's what they're fucking doing now, is what it is. Like 2.5 decades later or so, is you got these fucking sick fucks being like, oh, you shouldn't call them pedophiles, you should call them maps and stuff, and stupid bullshit like that, and like rename the fucking shit or whatever it is there, dude. And it's like, no, you can fuck off, bro. Like, fuck off, seriously. But yeah, I think the real thing, honestly, is there is definitely deception within a lot of these people in the trans communities and stuff like that, where it's almost like, I think there's basically a mix of various things, is what it is, where there are guys who think that they should have been born female and have done enough to actually, transition to that point where they can at least, outward facing pass as female, is what it is now. Then there are people who will try to do that to some extent, but they're actually have like this weird agenda to basically turn other guys gay, is what it is. By like, getting them in bed or whatever the case be, and then being like, haha, I actually have the same parts you do, kind of thing, is what it is there. And, actions have consequences there, because then you have people getting, popped in the fucking eye or mouth or whatever it is then, dude. Or even worse in some cases, where you got, all these killings in Atlanta and other places like that, where you got these, fucking trans folks lying to dudes, and then they wonder why they get killed by those dudes. When the guy thought he was gonna fuck some pussy tonight, and he's, pulls down your fucking pants, and there's a big old swinging dick there, and he's not into fucking ass play, is what it is. So, but anyway, yeah, it's a whole thing, man. And I think that's the problem entirely right now. Is it's like, and really that's what it is. I think really it's a mix of that, obviously, and then there's other people, like I said, that are just trying to do it to basically, shock value is what it is then, and are just trying to basically get away with stuff because they actually are predators in this country, is what it is then. So, and yeah, it is really just sad, man, in general. But yeah, I think we're definitely heading for an interesting time period ahead right now. I don't know exactly what the rest of the year is going to look like right now. I feel like we're definitely heading for something major to happen here. Obviously, we got, like I said earlier, Google was updating their TOS next month to probably censor me permanently and other people like myself here, as what it is on the site. But if that happens, I'll definitely be talking with some people about doing a class action against them. This might be the case, and fighting back that way is what it'll be. Then we'll just take over the fucking site then entirely as a bunch of folks. So anyway, if nothing else, maybe get like some AGs of every single state involved then for, repeated violations of these fucking companies for giant censorship stuff is what it is then. But anyway. Yeah, because it's definitely First Amendment rights violations, and hopefully it'll be a SCOTUS case immediately then if that be the case. But yeah, it is what it is, man. But that being said, though, I will be back at some point in the next few days. Here's what it is. Might be back tonight or tomorrow or something like that, talking about some more Walking Dead stuff or whatever the case be. And then, obviously, we'll be back on Honda's chat tomorrow night for the Gay Frog chat, as long as he does one there. And other than that, we'll talk about our, the BS fucking warning knock that we got today that would have been a channel strike otherwise, is what it is there for them fucking over Freedom Friday, and then the channels will do this then. So, anyway, other than that, though, that's pretty much from after the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will be back, like I said, some point here, next couple days probably, for some stuff and things and what have you. So, but other than that, though, starting tomorrow in Walking Dead Survivors, we'll be having another week of Strongest Survivor for Governor. And right now, I believe I am 4 or 5 fragments away from getting Governor to 4 4s in my second and third accounts then. And then it would be just getting him the rest of the way to a 4-5 then in my main account then, which I think is like 25 of 90 right now or something. So it's going to be a while for sure. Like, even if I was able to get like 25 or 30 this coming week and stuff like that, that's still, like 40 more that I'm going to need then. So it's still like over a month's worth of, daily gets than it would be then. So possibly, hopefully getting some from the actual daily long range transmission survival challenge things then too, for that matter. But I don't know, man. Be interesting to see though. But yeah, that being said, be doing some stuff though. Like I said, basically just trying to get ahead here. And right now I'm doing the knife challenges and stuff, which I'm going to be going and doing here in a minute actually, because I'm basically burning through almost all my resources right now for rubies on all the accounts to get enough of those to try and up my dudes to the next level is what it is there, which I have almost enough in a couple of the accounts to get 3 different guys done. And I know for a fact I'm going to be able to break through Holly this time around, thankfully, for the first time. So that'll be nice because it'll be the last 100 that'll be past 100. That's what it is for the main 12. Because right now I have every other one for the 11 done, which is obviously Rosita and Abraham, Mercer, Laura, Princess, Arid Shane, Militia Rick, Morgan, and then the Whisperer trio of Alpha, Beta, and Lydia. So, and then it's just basically getting everybody else higher than that. That's what it'll be then. So, which I think in that account it's either going to be, I'm either going to make a 106 or a 108 of either Shane or Rick. I forget which one it is. It's almost done. So, and then yeah, it'll be Holly in that one, and then whoever else that needs some stuff. So, which will get part of it from today, and then the rest and the other ones from tomorrow's it'll be there. So, but yeah, other than that though, that's pretty much right for the day though. Hope you guys enjoy this episode, and like I said, I'll be back probably tomorrow or the next day, and then obviously we'll be back tomorrow night in Honda's chat for sure. Was really hoping somebody would come in here for the day, but unfortunately nobody did. So it is what it is, man. Which makes sense. They're probably doing whatever, eating dinner, or going to bed themselves, or whatever the case is. Since I know Chicago's on the same timeline I am, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, for the midnight timeline. So yeah, that's probably what happened with Leo and whatnot. And then not sure where Shot Red's at. He probably just didn't come in, honestly, because it's only 8:40 something. Yeah, it's about 8:50 there in his neck of the woods there in California. Honda would be about 9:50, I believe. And then Corey and everybody would be about 10:50 or so there in Texas. So, and I'm sure Duke's asleep at this point, honestly. I didn't send him a link. That was what it is. So, because he has betrayed the Brotherhood way too many times with being anti-2A. So, I'm just fucking with him, obviously. I'm going to admit that straight up. I'm just fucking, like, at least I'm willing to admit it, man. Like, If I'm gonna jump in on the joke, man, I'm gonna actually admit I'm just being an asshole. What it is. I love you, Duke. I really do, honestly, man. Like, and I do feel sorry for Matt giving you shit all the time. Is what it is, man. Because you went and sold a bunch of guns there after buying a bunch of guns there. So, which I get it, honestly, to sell most of them and stuff. But like, I don't know. I almost do disagree with you selling all of them. Knows what it is, man. You should have kept that one anyway. So. Like, I can see buying 5 and maybe selling 4 later on or something, but, like, yeah, it just seems kind of silly to sell all 5 of them, though. But anyway. And especially to have FFL there, you're going to have to pay, like, the same amount you basically paid for one of them out in transfer fees and stuff, so seems like you should get different FFL on that one, buddy. But, yeah, that's just me personally, though. Thinking about that right now. Really, I think that is the biggest problem with our country currently when it comes to transfer fees and stuff like that in this country is there really should be just a standard transfer fee, and it's like the lowest amount possible across the board. And anybody that's trying to go higher than that should be able to get, kind of knocked for it or whatever the case be. As like a price gouge of some bitch is what it is then. Because especially if you're like a larger FFL and stuff, dude. Like, why should your transfer fee be like 2 or 3 times that of like a small mom and pop shop and stuff, dude? Like, it's just silly entirely. Like, honestly, it should be like $10 to $20 at most everywhere. Not fucking, 15 or 20 here, 25, 30 over there, and then like 50 over here is what it is then at this main big ass gun shop. So, yeah, it's just crazy, man. I know it's even more than that some other places, depending on state and stuff. Because now somebody said to me they had like $100-something transfer fee, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So, yeah, it's just crazy, man. And that's the problem right now. Like looking at the stuff from all these sites and stuff like that, where you can get them on there and shit. It's like, yeah, I'd love to build, a dagger or whatever the case be, but I'm not going to sit there and even at the lowest price to have it there, it's still you got to add in like the transfer fee on that one, so it's like way more than that even, dude. So. Yeah, it's a bunch of shit entirely, man. But anyway. Or anything else for that matter, where you got like the frames and stuff, where it's like, meanwhile, I could actually just, put a bunch of cash together, buy a 3D printer, and just print the shit myself, if that'd be the case then. And it'd be just as good, probably, is my guess, honestly. So, depending on printer quality, obviously, is what it is there, and, what have you. Versus like having to go buy something from the site and then, pay for the fees and everything else. Like that's what it is there. Which it does seem kind of like, that's one thing I always thought was weird too, by the way, is like, whether it be like the gun frame or whether it be like, a lower receiver or whatever the case be, like that's the quote unquote like serialized part and shit. Like it's just dumb. Like the whole thing is just stupid in general, dude. And again, it's just government fuckery all the way around is what it is, man. And it's exactly why they're trying to screw over people that want to do homemade builds and stuff like that, or, be able to build their own shit or whatever the case be, and then they can turn around and fuck you over and try and screw with your life and whatnot because you're actually doing something on your own that could actually, they wouldn't know about and stuff like that is what it is. And yeah, it's just government tyranny no matter how you look at it, man. No matter how you slice it, it's all government tyranny at the end of the day. And I think most of us are just disgusted and fucking done with it is what it is, man. So... Anyway, other than that, though, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will be back at some point later on with another one. Have a good one, y'all, and have a very, very good Sunday. Bye.